Let's settle for the news now. In our first story, the salaries of public sector workers for the first 3 months of 2025, with the entire government machinery at a risk of shutting down after Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam failed yet again to present the mini budget. Now, the document was expected to be presented yesterday, but the minister did not show up. On Tuesday also, the minister was not in Parliament, igniting fierce controversy. The Minority Chief Whip, Kwame Governs Agric, is alleging a grand scheme by the NPP to hamstring the future John Mahama administration. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante has more.
There's a looming government shutdown if the 2025 mini budget is not approved. The mini budget will cater for the first quarter of 2025, that is January, February and March. It will pay government salaries and it will ensure that government agencies keep running when a new government comes in place before it presents its substantive budget. But that is all at risk because the mini budget, which is supposed to be about 68.1 billion Ghana cedis for the first quarter of next year, has still not been presented. Parliament has been sitting since Monday. It has been on the order paper, and that document has still not been laid by the finance minister in Parliament. On Monday, there was a big controversy over this, and the indication was that the finance minister would do it on Tuesday. Tuesday has come, Parliament has sat, and Parliament has since adjourned, but there has been no movement on that.
I hope there's no conspiracy to make it impossible for this to be laid, to be taken, until Parliament, the 8th Parliament expires. The whole world would have known that it was a deliberate decision of somebody not to lay this to be taken. I hope the rumors circulating are false. I just hope it's false.
But the 2024 NPP running mate, who is also the MP for Menchia South, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says the NDC MPs are simply after their own interests.
Mr. Speaker, it is not the first time in this House that even a minister brings a document and decides that I'm going to withdraw the document. It will not be the first. So the fact that the Speaker has got the expenditure vote on account doesn't mean the Minister of Finance, in the light of what the Supreme Leader, Osei Chairman Sabotu, said, certain things might have happened on the physical space in this country, such that the Finance Minister may be looking at his figures very well.
But Agric Opoku, who is the ranking member on the Agric committee, says the NPP side have lost, and it appears to him as simply not interested in doing the business of Parliament.
Their tenure has not ended. They have not handed over yet. They still have a duty to perform under the Constitution of Ghana. We have gone through several transitions. No president has ever avoided a critical duty like this in our nation. The new government will be ushered in early January. So we need expenditure in advance of the budget to be able to pay salaries from January, February, March until a new budget is introduced into this House.
Carlos Ayinkra says the NDC will only get a mini budget if they agree to support government in terms of the 1D, 1F tax waivers that is currently before the House.
Allow us to bring up the government business for us all to debate and agree to disagree. But you don't tell us what to do. Mr. Speaker, if you wish to ask us what we want to do first, we don't want to present any bills right now. We want to put 1D, 1F exemptions on the floor so that we debate it and agree to disagree. That is where we want to commence from.
But former Majority Leader Osei Chairman Sabonso has been offering some firm commitments on this matter.
We are where we are. However, Mr. Speaker, I would suggest strongly that the minister is aware of his responsibilities and he is not minded to renege. And certainly the vote on account will be presented in the House. I'm just saying that as I've been doing, I'm not able to do that because this morning when we met, he wasn't there. And because he wasn't there, I have no instructions from him. I cannot present the paper on behalf of the minister. But the needful will be done.
If this document is not presented, salaries will not be paid in January, February and March of 2025. The government will completely grind to a halt and there will be a government shutdown. And that is why both sides of the House are working together to ensure that this mini budget is presented so that government is not shut down in 2025. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Now, President-elect John Mahama has announced plans to soon inaugurate a committee dedicated to ensuring that he achieves a 120-day social contract with the people of Ghana. This contract includes the Operation Recover All Loot initiative, which aims at combating corruption by investigating allegations, recovering misappropriated state resources, and prosecuting offenders. Now, speaking during a courtesy call for members of the Apostolic Fathers, he stressed his administration's commitment to enhancing accountability. We'll hear from John Mahama in a moment, but first, founder of the Action Chapel International and member of the Apostolic Fathers, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, urged Ghanaians to manage their expectations and rather pray for the president-elect.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe that at the point the media will excuse us. So, but for now, we came with some few proposals to discuss as our guide. Most times when new president and government comes, there's a very high expectations that high expectation that everybody has, and so we know that expectations have to be managed because you are a vessel that has come. I mean, these things that people say you've come to save, you've come to rescue, they should be very careful of that because you are a vessel in the hands of God. So they should stop saying that and pray for you rather that God can use you to execute the mandate that the people of this country have entrusted into your hands. I know it's a difficult challenge. During the time you were in opposition, we were talking one time and you were saying that Mama Lodina, you and her were talking, and it was like, what at all are you doing? You know, why are you standing for election with the kind of situation that we are facing and things are going through? But I think that was when you realized that it's a call and it's a mandate of God that you have to fulfill. And I remember that when we talked 2016, I had mentioned to you what I felt prophetically, that you have to leave, and at the right time you come again. And 2020, we met again with Honorable Elvis in my office, and I said to you that, Mr. President, you are not coming now, you will come after 2020. So when 2020 ended, I was very confident, irrespective of whatever anybody said, that it was your time to come back to fulfill mandate and to finish your unfinished business. And I believe that by God's grace, who preserved you, kept you alive, and you didn't die, and you lived, and you are still here, will guide you, preserve you, and give you what it takes to move this nation according to his mandate to where he wants to take this nation to. And we want to pray and believe that at your term of office, that the narrative, the negative narratives that have plagued governments of this country will change during your term in office, and that we will see a new and a beautiful Ghana by the grace of God. In the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter and the 17th verse, the Bible says that all the living may know that the Most High rules in the affairs of men and give the kingdoms of men to whomsoever he wills. And it is very clear that what has happened in Ghana is the fulfillment of Daniel chapter 4 and the 17th verse, that God...
Well, let's now hear from John Mahama on his plans to soon inaugurate a committee dedicated to implementing his 120-day social contract with the people of Ghana.
We carefully selected the things that we thought were achievable in 120 days. And so we're going to work diligently to make sure that at the end of 120 days, we're able to put a check on each of them. And so I'll soon inaugurate a committee that is focused on achieving the 120-day plan. And under it, we have Operation Recover All the Loot. I'm happy you have expressed your support for it, because I do think that people must be held accountable. if you agree to accept the public trust, then you must account to the people who gave you that public trust. And so if we do this, it will make people think twice before they accept public office. I mean, if you live in your own private business, you can run it anyhow you want, that's your business. But if you come and the taxpayer you're put in an office which is paid with taxpayers' money, you must be prepared to account to the people for the trust that they have put in you. And so we want to raise accountability to another level. It's in our constitution that we shall uphold the principles of probity and accountability. And so it's a constitutional obligation for us to do that. As I said yesterday, this probably is our last chance to get things right, because if this administration does not lift the level, then, I mean, people really would look at other means of, being able to achieve what they think would make life better for them. And as I said, we're not immune to what is happening in other countries in our sub-region. And so we need to work as quickly as possible to bring back trust in our democracy. We know that democracy is the best system because it affords you the opportunity to do some of the things that have happened, hold elections, change governments. In unconstitutional governments, whether you like it or not, you live in it, and you cannot make a change if even things are not going very well. So there's a lot of work to do, and I think that in the space of agriculture and agribusiness, agro-processing, that's a new area the churches must begin to look at.
Now, the Tertiary Education Workers Union Ghana is opposing what it describes as an attempt to smuggle a rival group onto the council of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The membership of both groups on the 12-member council has been suspended pending investigations by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. However, one group alleges there are attempts to bypass the commission in resolving the issue of representation on the university council. Ohiming Teria has more.
The Tertiary Education Workers Union Ghana, TEU Ghana, broke out from the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of the Trades Union Congress, TEU TUC, in June 2022. TEU Ghana is said to have galvanized a total of 866 out of the 1,060 existing members of TEU TUC at KNUST. The Labour Group has had no representation on the University Council of the KNUST since 2019. Section 7H of the KNUST Statutes says the University Council shall have a representative of the Teachers and Education Workers Union. But TEU Ghana insists their rival group is not qualified to represent the interests of teachers and education workers because it lacks the capacity. Here is the national chairman of TEU Ghana, Suleimana Abdulrahman, addressing a press conference in Kumasi.
The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, the regulator of tertiary institutions in Ghana, issued a directive dated on the July 2nd, 2024 to KNUST management to stay any action regarding the representation of the University Council at KNUST until the matter is fully resolved. This directive was issued to ensure fairness, transparency, and accountability in the selection of University Council representative. Regrettably, KNUST management has proceeded to violate this directive, prompting our union to take this stance. We have reason to believe that this action was taken without proper consultation and consideration of the potential consequences. As a peaceful and law-abiding union, we urge KNUST management to respect GTEC's directives and avoid actions that may lead to chaos on campus.
In a letter dated July 2, 2024, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission advised KNUST management to postpone the swearing-in of the TUC representative until the matter is fully resolved. Mr. Rahman warned any attempt to smuggle in TUC representative onto the council will be resisted.
If not because we are a law-abiding union, in fact, a lot of issues could have happened, because you can imagine if you deny about 1,000 people representation and allow about 25 people to go and then represent almost more than 1,000 people. Can you imagine if we're not law-abiding, what would have happened? And as I said, if care is not taken, if they don't stop this at the end of the day, if anything happens on this campus, if there's any chaos, it is the management who have called for it, and they should be held responsible. Yes, our next step is to make sure that on Thursday, as we have been informed that there will be a council meeting, even if they are going to have the council meeting outside Ghana, till Ghana will follow them to wherever they will have the council meeting, to make sure that the gentleman they are trying to smuggle into the council meeting will not be allowed.
Meanwhile, authorities at KNUST are yet to respond to the issues raised by the group. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohimenteria reporting.
Now, a devastating fire ravaged a section of the racecourse market in Kumasi, destroying over 30 shops. The blaze, which started at around 1 a.m. on Tuesday, primarily consumed metal containers and wood shops owned by traders in watermelon, grape, and cold store operators. The Ghana Fire Service dispatched 3 fire engines to battle the flames and prevent further damage. While no casualties were reported, the fires left many traders devastated after losing their livelihoods. Nanabuachi Adam has more in this report.
The devastating fire swept through the racecourse market on Tuesday, destroying 30 shops and leaving traders counting their losses. The fire, which started around 1 a.m., quickly spread through the market, fueled by strong winds and largely wooden structures of the shops. According to traders, firefighters from the Ghana Fire Service were called to the scene but delayed in their attempt to quench the fire. They are, however, counting their losses. Naomi Sewa is leader of the Watermelon Sellers Association.
7:30. Me wo fia na yefrɛ me sɛ nana fruit fo no watermelon fo mu hosh. Sɛ na ho de hosh sɛsɛn. No mo se jani dem na me se free hen no mo se start free blast ma ho. Na sɛ wo mo pe fire service fo ni yenya bi yefrɛfrɛ ya no wo mo mfa. Ti ma me frɛ wona bɔkɔ ache ka kyerɛ no.
I heard the news around 7:30. I tried reaching the fire service, but they did not respond on time. So I called Honorable Kwachi, who quickly called them to come to our aid. We lost everything in the shops, including watermelon, apple and grapes.
Apple ni grapes ni nyina yes ahia du mabedi akire ne ho to ne kosi ya fire service for ne ba ya itimi edum ye nkanya saade ya ene nkempata wa hade empata ni nyina so bia ne wa watermelon nim.
The fire was finally brought under control early Tuesday, but not before it had destroyed 30 shops, leaving traders with significant losses.
Na de na ano den pa na egusu a ehye na me beto fire service wa na me sure say omo so bedru han na ahye nti de na aka na.
It is very devastating. I came to meet the fire service, but I am sure they didn't come on time. But they rescued some few shops. There are plenty shops out there that got burnt.
Siana containers bebre so e wa kire oni nyina ahye ai mu nyema nyina obia emfa bibia wo vapor na ma watermelon ni na anoa ti we di abusuafo de aba no no
we need help from government. It's not an easy investment made. We have children and orphans we take good care of. Meanwhile, the cause of the fire is still unknown. The fire service has launched an investigation into the cause of the fire, and the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has promised to provide support to the affected traders. In the meantime, traders are left to pick up the pieces and try to rebuild their businesses. For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwa, Kumasi.
The Cape Coast Teaching Hospital has taken delivery We'll bring you details of that story shortly concerning the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. We'll take a breather. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital has taken delivery of laparoscopic equipment and instruments, paving the way for the facility to begin modern laparoscopic surgeries. Now, this surgical technique allows doctors to perform operations through small incisions, offering benefits such as shorter recovery times, minimal scarring, and greater precision. Now, speaking at the unveiling of the equipment, Dr. Michael Norte, lead clinician for the Department of Surgery at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, disclosed that the surgical team had completed laparoscopic training through the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. More detail will be given you in Abdallah Usman's report.
Laparoscopic surgery is commonly used for abdominal surgeries, gallbladder removal, hernia repair, kidney removal, prostate surgery, and others. Speaking at the ceremony to receive the equipment facilitated by the Korean Federation of International Health, lead clinician for the Department of Surgery at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Michael Norte, explained the hospital was fully ready to undertake such procedures.
We are ready. We have patients ready. At least tomorrow we are starting with about 3 patients. We're doing 2 cholecystectomies and 1 diagnostic laparoscopy for an infertility patient. The difference between laparoscopic surgeries, or what we call minimally invasive surgeries, is that we don't do the traditional big incisions. So the patient is cut, but it's through small incisions through which we put our pots. And the advantage is that the patients recover very fast. Sometimes they can go home the same day, they can be discharged the same day, or maximum 48 hours, they're out of the hospital. So if you have patients who are very busy, they don't have much time to stay on the ward for weeks, and those are the kind of patients that you want to book for such cases.
Chief Executive Officer of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Agric thanked the Federation and the Ministry of Health for making the gesture possible.
Fortunately, the skills lab is ready, the simulation center is ready, our surgeons have gone through some form of training, and then very soon, probably tomorrow, we'll be operating 5 patients using this technology. As a teaching hospital, we think this is the way to go. And I'd like to, on this occasion, express our sincere gratitude to COFI, the Korea Federation of International Health, and then the Ministry of Health, that has also supported us hugely by granting us the necessary waivers to bring in this equipment that we are seeing today. Today, a handing over has been done. It's been handed over to the Department of Surgery. That will begin its utilization from tomorrow.
Country Director of COFI Ghana Office, the benefactors, Yang Buming, says their collaboration with the hospital is to help improve health outcomes.
This funding is from Community Chest of Korea, so that we could make this project. So this project is included for supporting laparoscopy machine and the training. So that finally we got laparoscopy machine here, and we already provided 3 times training, so including the theory and practical and animal training as well.
Abdallah Osman's reports read to you.
Welcome to our business update. And the Chamber of Agribusiness has welcomed the decision by President-elect John Mahama to rename the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to help focus on government's policies. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness, Anthony Morrison, has said the move would help address challenges of food insecurity in the country and create more jobs.
I think the President-elect's decision to rename MOFA to MOFA reflects the current global trend in the global agriculture value chain, in that it does drive employment generation or employment creation. It also reduces the country's overriding responsibility on importation. It also provides an opportunity for us to reduce our post-harvest losses as a country tremendously. Now, and above all, it helps us to look at a long-term strategy in how to create some form of global buffer in terms of our export foreign exchange, and also for the next the next 1 year to 5 years, this has the potential to add about 10 billion annually to Ghana's economy. The way MOFA is set up, MOFA is not strategically set up to be able to advance the critical areas of the value addition, agro-industrialization, i.e. with the overarching aim of driving agribusiness. MOFA is currently positioned as a policy designer and implementer. But to reinforce agribusiness into its operation requires that as the new president, you'll be able to add other areas of MOFA's activity to strengthen its ability to deliver on the agribusiness mandate.
Now, Social Security and National Insurance Trust contributions by private firms have reached some record levels. The Bank of Ghana puts the amount at 460 million Ghana cedis ending September this year. George Wiafe has the rest of the story.
Bank of Ghana data showed that there has been some significant increase over the past 1 year when you track contributions. This is because around September last year, contributions from private sector firms stood at around 360 million Ghana cedis. Fast forward to September 2024, and that has gone up by more than 100 million Ghana cedis. But if you compare to August 2024 to September this year, contributions have slowed marginally. But despite these developments, data from the Social Security and National Insurance Trust has also shown that contributions from these private firms has been one of the major inflows in helping the State Pension Trust in meeting its payment obligations to pensioners. The Bank of Ghana report also revealed that the number of private sector firms contributing to the scheme stood at 1,040 ending September this year. For some, the data could show that a lot more firms are employing people and also coming out of the recent economic crisis, which forced most of them to shut down their operations.
It's a wrap for business. It's also a wrap for the AM News. But we leave you with our currency market for today.